Hello everyone, welcome. If you are new to my channel, my name is Risa and I was a freelance makeup artist for more than 20 years before I became a full-time content creator here on YouTube. I started uploading videos to YouTube in my early 40s. And whenever I would post a video talking about my mature skin or mature skin in general, I would receive a lot of comments from women 45, 50, 60 plus telling me things like, oh, you don't have mature skin, wait until you're 50 plus, things are going to change. And I have to admit that at the time, I would get a little bit defensive about those sort of statements. Because as someone who started in the beauty industry at age 23, I had always been told that mature skin was age 35 and up. This video is not to debate who has mature skin and who doesn't. Obviously, if you clicked on this video, you most likely consider yourself to have mature skin. I'm currently 51 years old. As I mentioned, I started this channel in my early 40s. So I've been doing this for a while, and a lot of you have been with me since the early days, and you have seen me go through many changes. You've seen me test a lot of different skincare products. I've done videos on treatments I've had in the past. I have not done Botox or filler since, I believe, 2018 or 2019. And some of you may remember my 2016-2017 lip filler era. I just wanted to mention all of that in case you are a new viewer and you're sitting here wondering, what work has she done? The answer to that is I had a rhinoplasty at age 22. I got breast implants in 2004. And as I just mentioned, the last time I had any sort of needles injected into my face was at least 5 or 6 years ago. So now that that is all out of the way, I want to get to some potentially uncomfortable truths about makeup and mature skin. The first one is a conclusion that I believe many of you who are over 50 have probably come to already, and that is we need to wear less eye makeup. And I say it like that because I know that that can be a depressing thing for a lot of people, including myself, who is used to being very glam, to really playing up my eyes. Even having hooded eyes my entire life, not just from aging, I have always loved to play with different makeup palettes, with different colors within those palettes, different textures, shimmers, glitters, liquid liner, winged liner, and I've put out tons of content teaching others how to do their eyes, how to do a winged liner on hooded eyes, how to do a smoky wing. And a lot of that has just been me battling with myself, trying to prove that I can still do these things. But the more I try, the more I struggle. And I have heard this from so many of my viewers, especially again in the last couple of years since I turned 50. I think a lot of us were kind of getting older together, and we're all experiencing these changes where we're finding that less really is more, not necessarily just with our makeup overall, but especially our eye makeup. In my past couple of makeup tutorials, I think a lot of you have noticed that I have really been minimizing the amount of products that I use on my eyes. I've actually been taking a lot of your advice and doing sort of one and done type of looks with a cream shadow or a shadow stick. And by finally, I guess you could say, freeing myself of feeling like I have to use at least 5 or 6 colors in an eyeshadow palette for one eye look, or else why did I buy it? That has actually been not only quite freeing, but also really helped me not be so frustrated and almost sad that I can't accomplish the looks that I did before. The palette I have in my hands right now is the Natasha Denona Golden palette. I love this palette. It is what I used on my eyes today. Natasha Denona recently came out with a new palette called I Need a Warm. And let me tell you, it has been so difficult for me not to purchase it because it does look so pretty. And I look at that palette and I think, ooh, the colors are so pretty. Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formulas are so amazing, high quality. But I have stopped myself every time from adding that product to my cart or purchasing it in store because I know I have finally, the light bulb has finally gone off, and I just know that number one, I don't really need it, and number two, a lot of those eyeshadows aren't going to get used. I have always been a firm believer that everyone should wear what they love. So if you do, at age 50, 60, 70 plus, sit down at your vanity and apply different shades of purple and glitter and black winged eyeliner, that's amazing. But for those of us who have really decided that less is more when it comes to the eyes, find 1 or 2 eyeshadow palettes that are not only flattering to your eye color and your skin tone, but that you can get multiple looks from. A natural everyday look, a little bit more of a work or professional look, and then maybe an evening event date night look. I've always said that the brows are the frame of the face, so make sure that your brows are arched properly for your face shape, that you have filled them in if they're very, very sparse. A fuller brow is always going to look more youthful. And then you want to focus on the lashes. There are so many great lash serums out on the market now that are prostaglandin free, prostaglandin analog free. So I want you to look for those. I've recently been using this one from Swede, but just the other day I purchased this one from Amazon, which is less expensive. So I'm going to be trying that one for the next month or so, and then I will give you my feedback. But from what I have seen from both of these, they really, really do help your lashes to grow. There is a very valid reason why false eyelashes always make someone's entire look come together or makes their makeup just pop. It's simply because long, dark lashes define the eye, they bring attention to your eye color, and they look feminine and youthful. That said, I am well aware that false lashes aren't for everyone, so I highly recommend using a lash serum, curling your lashes with a lash curler that suits your eye shape, and applying a lot of mascara, whether it's black or brown, whatever your preference is. Just be sure to build up those lashes. You don't want your lashes to be clumpy, but there are so many excellent mascaras on the market now that will give you those long, full lashes without clumps. If you are prone to getting clumps in your lashes, I do recommend having a lash comb nearby so that you can comb them out. Now that I've spoken about how to emphasize your lashes, we really want to focus on the skin. That is where we should be spending most of our time and our money on products. I'm not saying you have to go and spend hundreds of dollars on different serums and cleansers and moisturizers, but do make sure that you're buying things that are right for your skin type, not just because someone like me or any other beauty influencer says that it's good. You have to do a little bit of research on your own to really determine if that product is going to be right for you. It does take a lot of trial and error to find the right skincare regimen. You also don't need to be doing a 10-step skincare routine unless you want to. If spending 15, 20 minutes doing your skincare routine at the end of the day is therapeutic for you, then by all means do it. But it's not 100% necessary. The other thing that I really want to drive home here is something, again, that I personally have had a problem with in the past, and that is being consistent and wanting results too quickly. Whenever a brand approaches me about doing a sponsorship for a skincare product, the first thing I say to them is, how long are you willing to give me to test the product out first? And if I don't like it, if I don't see results, I'm going to have to pass. And I will say that 99.9% of the time, the brand is entirely on board with me testing out the product first, making sure that number one, I don't have an allergic reaction to it. Number two, that it really lives up to its claims. How long did it take before I saw results? I really have to stand behind the product that I am promoting. So I guess you could call that my next truth. After going a little bit more minimal on the eyes, the truth is you really have to focus on your skin, and you really have to focus on finding the right skincare routine for you that is actually effective. And another uncomfortable truth that I've experienced in recent years is that I have to wear foundation that has less coverage than I used to. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this and you're already wearing skin tints or tinted moisturizers. Perhaps you have been for years. Perhaps you have never been a full coverage, full glam sort of person. Well, this message is for those of you who have, like me. who've always worn more medium to full coverage foundations like Estee Lauder Double Wear, MAC Studio Fix Fluid. I recently received a comment on a really old video. I think it was like a 7-year-old video where I was reviewing a Jouer foundation, a full coverage Jouer foundation. And I said it was the best foundation I have ever used. And the only reason why I went back and looked at that video is because someone had left me a comment asking if I still used and loved that foundation. I haven't touched that foundation in years because it was so incredibly full coverage. In that time since, full coverage foundations have actually changed. So I'm not saying, I hope I'm not confusing people, that you can't wear full coverage if you want to. It's finding, again, the right full coverage foundation. And now there are a lot more options to choose from. I saw that the brand One Size is coming out with a new full beat, full coverage foundation. And I actually am going to try it because I do want to see how this new formula performs on 51-year-old skin. I want to know how it's going to feel on my face. I want to know how long lasting it's going to be. So the point I'm trying to make is if you are used to being just a full coverage, full glam, having that really perfected base, but you do feel like it's aging you, I want you to not only experiment with less coverage foundations, but also consider mixing them. That is what I've been doing a lot lately, is mixing in a lighter coverage foundation with a fuller coverage foundation. True makeup artists are mixers, whether they're mixing 2 blushes together, 2 or 3 foundations together, 2 or 3 eyeshadows together before going in and doing some eyeshadow work. We're mixers. And what I've found over the years working with clients, a lot of you are afraid to mix. So I'm here to tell you to do your best to get over that fear and try to experiment more, especially when it comes to foundations and powders and concealers. And then once you find that perfect base routine, skincare and base routine, you are going to have so much more confidence and you are going to look so much more radiant and youthful. Something else I hear a lot, both in comments on my videos and in person when people hear about what I do, they ask me what they can do to sort of bring life back to their face wearing minimal products. Something that I know a lot of people struggle with is their skin becoming very ruddy and red. So the most important thing you can do is to neutralize your skin tone and then go back in and add color to your face. There's not a person who would sit in my chair when I was doing makeup that had really red, ruddy skin that I still wouldn't use blush on. After their skincare, I would neutralize their skin, not with a heavy mask of foundation. I would use a color correcting primer in a lot of instances, and then I would go in with an appropriate foundation for their skin type. And once their skin was even, we brought back color using a bronzer or a cheek color, whether it was powder or cream. Today I use this cream from RMS. It just gives you a really beautiful natural flush. It doesn't pick up the foundation underneath. It's not sitting on top of my skin. It's not accentuating texture. So that truth is that you can wear color on your cheeks even if your skin is red or ruddy. And the final truth is you have to use a lip liner. I have actually had the lip liner conversation with my mother, who's in her 70s. When I would do her makeup, she would always say, don't overline my lips. And I would say to her, okay, I promise I won't overline your lips, but we are definitely using a lip liner for a couple of reasons. The main one being that you can build up the lip without it looking unnatural. Our lips thin as we age, and I'm not telling anyone to go out and get lip filler, but just by outlining the lips, maybe overlining a little bit on the Cupid's bow and a little bit down below, but following your regular lip line in this area and this area, you're going to give an illusion of a fuller lip, but it doesn't have to look unnatural. As you can see in this demo, the liner is a little bit dark. It's a very creamy lip pencil from Fenty. It's one of their new ones, and I highly recommend those if you're new to wearing lip liner or if you have a shaky hand. The drier the lip liner, the more difficult it can be if you don't have such a steady hand. A creamier lip liner, you can just tap out with your finger. They're usually a lot more blendable. So as you can see, I'm really blending out that liner. And then on top of that, I'm placing a really glossy, pigmented lipstick. This is actually a Fenty gloss stick, and I am loving these for their intense pigmentation, their intense shine. They make the lips look so smooth. The gloss doesn't migrate outside my lip line, which is another reason why you want to wear a lip pencil. It's going to keep your lipstick and or your gloss from migrating into any fine lines around the mouth. If you are hesitant to wear a lip liner in a color, they do make colorless lip liners that just help to keep everything inside the lip line. But you're not going to be able to really define the lip and make them look fuller with a clear lip liner. At least I don't think so. I've honestly never tried it. I've never been a huge clear lip liner fan. I think you can tell that I love a colored lip liner. All right, I think that covers everything. Those are my truths. Those are everything that I would say to anyone if I were still working as a freelance makeup artist. If you sat in my chair and we were to have a discussion about the changes that you should be making or the things that you should be focusing on as a woman who is getting into her late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. I know I have a lot of beautiful 70+ ladies that watch my videos, and I appreciate you all so much. You probably are even a lot wiser than me, even though I've worked in the beauty industry for so long, because you have been doing your face for so long, and you have seen more changes than I have. And I've always said this, that I feel like until you experience something yourself, yes, you can speak on it, but I don't believe it can come from a real truthful place or a real factual place until you've experienced it yourself. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do post new content at least twice per week. You can also find more from me over on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.